What's up, guys? It's your boy Ray. I'm just introducing the podcast we're doing this week is a crossover episode between the Nuggets Wave podcast and What's in a Game, featuring Grace and Will, as well as my co-host Peter and myself. If you'd like to find us, you can do that on the interwebs. All of our tags will be in the descriptions and links will be attached to the show. Thanks and have a good time.
Are you ready to podcast? I'll introduce Grace, professional agenda pusher. How are
Not
you
so
doing?
much these days, actually. Thank you for having me. I've been pushing fewer and fewer agendas, especially this season, because it's been so inconsistent. Even like the one that's been the most, at first it started the season as like a semi hot take and then it became pretty consistent. But then last night you kind of had a like, blown raspberry. And this one is my Jamal for all NBA agenda this year. Um, But other than that, it's been a season of learning and exploration more than anything else. Otherwise, I'd go crazy.
Goes well. I feel that. D. Jones, what's going on?
Man, I was a little bit broken from the Lakers game last night. As I was messaging you guys, as you saw, it was a very.
Will was having a mini panic attack.
It was a very. I really usually do not care about losses, and I've stayed pretty positive and held the line, like that we're still have a very good chance to win it all. That we're completely fine and taking silver linings away from games and losses. Like I'm pretty reasonable when I'm on the podcast, and I think when I'm on social media and stuff, people follow me, I seem more extreme than I actually am. But yeah, I feel better though today for sure. So I'm excited to talk to you guys. This is going to be therapy.
Yeah, we can get it out of our system. I have certain things to say about certain teams in the NBA with gold and purple colorways. But yeah, I'm very excited to chat with you guys. Peter, I wanted to kind of start with you. What was your immediate, we're recording the morning after the Laker game. We've had some time to sleep on it. Scale of 1 to 10, how mad are you?
Probably like a 3. I mean, yeah, it was a tough way to lose, but there's a lot of silver linings in the game for me. I mean, number one, Aaron Gordon looks like Aaron Gordon again. I think that's probably the best takeaway from that game. Hopefully the Nuggets will continue to be careful. I think there's only one more back-to-back this season. It's actually the next couple of games, so I'm kind of hoping he either takes a break on Tuesday or Wednesday. And the other silver lining for me is, now stick with me here because this is going to be some mental gymnastics, but if you look at all the different ways there are to lose a basketball game, yesterday was sort of a new way to me because I felt like they had the game won. Like you went up 3 and then you fouled. They made a free throw, got the rebound, and put it back to center over. Like you win that game 98% of the time. So I saw a lot of people on the timeline mad that Adelman blew the game by fouling up 3. I disagree with that. I am of the school you always foul up 3 because I played basketball and I've been in a game where we didn't foul up 3 and they hit a 3 to tie and then we lost in overtime. So yes, I know that people love to look at the end result as you made boneheaded mistakes and you lost the game, but I also feel like the Nuggets mostly did what they needed to do to win the game. They just didn't pull this one out. If they get to that point again in the same game, I feel like they're going to close that game like 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, Grace, I'll go
Could
to
I
you.
just jump in on the fouling up 3 thing? I didn't have an issue with the fouling up 3. The issue, they let Austin Reeves catch the ball in the front court, and Cam had to foul immediately because Austin had been making all his threes at that point. It was unfortunate that they weren't able to at least drain some time off the clock at that point too, because obviously the fact that Austin had time to, catch the, they ran the play, and then I think that's when because Spencer got called for that foul that wasn't really a foul in the corner, whatever. but they had time to, like you said, get the putback to tie. And my problem was that they had to have two guys boxing. Well, had to or felt like they had to have two guys boxing out Luka, including Spencer Jones, who should have been the one boxing out the free throw shooter, and that's why he was late to try to like stop Austin from getting the ball or contesting that shot at the end. But so many like other things preceded that I'm sure we'll get into. And like you said, it's just another new way to this team has lost basketball games in every way possible this season. And it brings me back to this quote that I don't think Matt Moore like originated, but he's like cited it multiple times. I don't know where it's from originally. It's like good teams find different ways to win basketball games and bad teams find every way to lose basketball games. And you don't want to think of Denver as a bad team, but like it's been hard to get that quote out of my head as I watched this season proceed.
Well, how about you? It's your chance to translate some anger.
So many different feelings in this one. I didn't have a strong opinion about fouling up 3-2. That was the go-to criticism that people were going to with Adelman, and I understand both sides of it, but I was more with Grace, where I was debating which side whoever it was that was supposed to be, was it Spencer supposed to be boxing out the shooter? Yeah. What side he was on? I mean, Luka's on the other side, so you think if Luka gets the rebound, they wanted it to miss right to go to Luka, is apparently what JJ wanted, which kind of makes sense because you feel like Luka would be able to score if he got the rebound. So I kind of understand, and it was a very, I don't know, kind of fluky bounce off the rim. It's really hard to do. Went completely in the perfect spot for the Lakers. So it's hard to kind of be upset about it. I've more transitioned to being more, I'm not angry about how the first half went because I wasn't actually angry watching the game. I just thought it was a 3-point contest game, and that's just how it's going to be with the Lakers. I feel like doubles are going to come for Jokic. We're going to maybe double Luka. We left Austin Reeves open a lot in transition. Jamal wasn't like super on top of his game on offense. Definitely not on defense because he was not.
That's so generous. This is the worst game of the season for Jamal him by far in like every facet of the game.
I also thought we were like, people have brought up how the Nuggets overhelp a lot. We were very concerned with Ayton rolling and tagging him and leaving the three open. I would rather just give it to Ayton. See if you can score. I don't care. So it was like a 3-point contest game. They hit a bunch of threes and we couldn't make anything. And then we were down. So if that doesn't happen and Jamal's actually a shell of himself, because he was a 0 in this game, essentially, we're fine. So I've kind of come around to feeling better about it. But it was brutal to lose how we lost. And that's why the anger was like at an all-time high at that point. And there is some overlapping feelings that I have with Grace with like the bad teams finding bad ways to lose, where it's like there's a lot of silver linings. I make excuses for the team all the time when we lose these games, but after so many, it's like starting to like wear me down. So I don't know where I'm ending up with this team at this point, but we have a favorable schedule, so I'm looking forward to it.
I think, yeah, they'll win a lot more games. I'm not super upset at any individual loss. At the same time, I do hate the Lakers. Like in the same way that Peter hates the Suns, I think that's my favorite pastime, is that I hope every Lakers player and fan loses half their favorite pair of socks. I hope like Luka steps on a Lego this morning. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't want harm to come to them.
I don't root for injuries. I don't go that far.
Oh, you're
I want someone to stub a toe.
Yeah, like nothing serious. Nothing like keeps him out of the game or anything. Just I want like bad but non-consequential things.
Do you guys ever watch The Fairly Odd Parents?
Mm-hmm.
There was the episode where Timmy gets really jealous of Chip Skylark, the singer, because everybody's paying attention to him and he's not getting any attention. His parents, the babysitter, the fairies even are like fans of him. So he makes a wish, but he's not allowed to wish for death or maiming and like really like harmful injuries. So he wishes for a non-lethal accident to happen to Chip Skylark. And that I remember as a kid, I didn't know the word lethal. So for a long time, I thought he said non-legal. And it was only on rewatch that I was like, oh, he said lethal. And that was why. But I think
Yes.
about that a lot.
I will say that
When
like
wishing harm to others.
the unfortunately, like for the time that we're in, there's so much toxicity and conspiracy on basketball Twitter that the second like even the slightest strange thing starts happening, my mind goes to a dark place. Like, do you guys remember early in the fourth quarter when they stopped the game because one of the fans had like spilled some drinks? And immediately I started thinking back to Jason Kidd like purposely spilling water to get a timeout. I was like, are the Lakers stalling right now to get Luka like more rest? And it's like obviously that's not what's going on, but it's just
I
like
mean, was the fan stalling to try to get Lucas to support? Like, there's some crazy fans out there.
I don't know. I'm with Ray. Like I hate the Lakers, so I totally understand like you're, being more mad about this loss than others. I guess the reason I'm not there is because I'm still not worried about the Lakers in a series. I feel like if we're healthy, we take them. They were healthy yesterday. We didn't have Peyton Watson. And then the other thing, like just, having more time to calm down is like so often in sports, like you always look at through the lens of like your team. I kind of feel like the Lakers made a lot of like ridiculous plays and like great plays. Like Luka Reeves hit big time threes, and then the play by Austin Reeves was just incredible to perfectly front rim it and catch that rebound. If he did that 100 times, he'd maybe get the ball like 2 or 3 times. So I think sometimes you just have to tip your cap. This wasn't the classic like crunch time meltdown where the Nuggets had like a bad turnover or anything. I kind of felt like the Lakers.
Well, they did have a bad turnover, and then they saved it. Tim and AG also had really huge plays late in that game too, that were kind of like, oh wow. So I
guess my point is just I feel like the Lakers won the game more than the Nuggets lost this one. I know that doesn't really give you any consolidation, but
okay. I mean, it doesn't give me consolation, but I'm not in total disagreement with that perspective.
Yeah, I just really quick just want to add the shots by AG were amazing, and the Jokic pass, the Tim made corner three was incredible. I was like on a super high. So I was like loving seeing this team back in a way and having Aaron Gordon's attitude. But then, Aaron Gordon didn't hit a free throw. He had that bad turnover. And like, if they just do those simple things, it puts us in a much easier position to close the game out and just strangle it to the end. And unfortunately, they didn't go our way. So there was a mixture of like feeling a super high, which may be why I crashed down lower. Cause I was like we could have just finished that. And I really wanted to celebrate this amazing kind of win.
I also had one more good thing to say about this game that is going to completely get lost since the Nuggets lost the game. But when we were up by 1 with the ball, Cam Johnson was in the backcourt and they weren't really guarding him because they're like, oh, they're just going to pass to Jokic Murray. They passed the ball to Cam Johnson and he nailed both free throws. Like, that's big for 2 reasons. One, because he had the confidence and the calmness to knock him down. But more importantly, guys, they had the confidence to throw the ball to Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
It brings me back to the Dallas game, right? Where Jokic could have just, wasn't getting it blocked on that floater, guys. He could have tied that game, but he's like, nope, let me throw to Peyton. He's open. That's the right play. Unfortunately, Peyton missed the 3, but after that game, Peyton kind of took off. So in hindsight, that decision really paid off. I think Cam, he's kind of found his game a little bit recently here, and he played well yesterday again. So, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. It was kind of tongue in cheek the other day. I said, the Nuggets found Cam Johnson on the buyout market. What a great addition. He's been good lately on, we've been kind of waiting for this.
Yeah, he was the only one I actually trusted to make the free throws. I feel like Jokic would have missed one, and I feel like Jamal definitely would have missed one. And
I mean, Jamal also thought he was going to miss free throws because on one of those other free throw situations, and this was a continuation of him in the last part of this game, like he was bad in like a lot of different ways at different points in this game. The last like 5 or 6 minutes was him like not wanting the ball, not wanting to shoot, and that included passing the ball to AG in a free throw situation. There wasn't even anybody guarding him. He could have just held the ball a little bit longer, tried to drain clock, and take a shot, but he just didn't want to have the ball in his hands when they get fouled. And like maybe AG would have made both, whatever. And I know Jamal has had issues in the last parts of games, but I think that this had more to do with the night that he was having, and he like completely let that get to him in a way that I haven't seen in some of his even worse shooting games than tonight, although there haven't been many games where he shot worse than he did tonight. But yeah, it was just like, I put the loss squarely on Jamal because he was just so egregiously bad by anybody's standard, by like any NBA starter's standard, let alone his own, in that game in like every possible way at like multiple, points in the game. And it wasn't just the bad shooting, like he was getting completely cooked on defense. And then the way that he let the lack of confidence get to him at the end of the game, and then he fouls out in overtime was just like, I mean, that game was pretty inexcusable. And I haven't listened to any of the post game stuff yesterday, but I have to imagine that was like a focus of the locker room, was like him apologizing for the night that he had. And hopefully better moving forward, because he hasn't played that way. He hasn't been as good post. People have said post All-Star, but I would say basically since Jokic came back from his injury, as he had been earlier in the season. It's been kind of sporadic. He's had these like flashes of brilliance, like a game or two here, a quarter or two there since then, but nothing like this. Like this is just well beyond the outlier for him. And in the context of this season, it's so far below what the floor had been for him that it was just like, I don't even know what to make of it. It feels like a flush game and move on, but it was really unfortunate that it happened in a game that was, potentially so crucial for seeding down the stretch of the season.
I hope he was hungover.
Yeah,
I was
like
thinking the same thing.
Or something.
I hope it was something like that, of that nature, because I can let it go if it's that kind of thing. And in like a big picture sense, I feel like the season in my head starts when I need to see everybody back. So when they lose, if they lost a game like this, if Peyton was back and Jamal was playing well and everything seemed like this is about what they are or what they can be, I would be a lot more concerned. But I feel like they have another gear in them. Just if Jamal shows up, if you have Peyton Watson, you have more defenders who can play, you have more options. And the challenging part, I think, is that when Peyton does come back, you kind of got to figure everything else out in this new paradigm. Is like, oh, does he start? Does he come off the bench? Who plays? Who closes games? Who do you go to in certain situations? And as much as I do think David Adelman deserves some level of, there are some things he's done this season where I've been very happy about. There are some things he's done this season where I'm like, it feels like a learning curve. It feels like he's adjusting to, he's trying stuff and something works and something doesn't. He has to do all that over again, it feels like. And that's the only thing, is they're running a little bit short on time to make all those adjustments and decisions.